guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a video I was originally not going to do, but the top 10 for the Goodreads Choice Awards in romance came out, and when the top 20 was out, and I only at that time read 12 of the 20, and then I read one book since then on that list, and then when the top 10 came out, I had read all 10 of those, so the 6 that I had not read were not in the top 10. So I'm here to tell you all about the top 10 that were in the Goodreads Choice Awards and what I thought of them and my ranking of them. So if you have seen the nominations and you have seen who has won, Book Lovers came out as number 1, Colleen Hoover's 2 books came out numbers 2 and 3. I am nowhere near this list. So I was actually surprised. I did not realize Abby Jimenez did not make the top 10. My number 1 on this top 10 list actually was one I thought I voted for, but then I remembered I really loved Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and that was the only one that I really gave like a solid, secure 5 stars that I was obsessed with. So I have the 10 here though. I actually own all of them but one, and I've been saving some of them for this video so that I can then unhaul them. But I was supposed to film this video about an hour ago, but I was just watching the Argentina-Netherlands game for soccer for the World Cup. That game was bonkers. Oh my gosh. If you watch soccer at all, you know that game was crazy. So the day I'm posting this, it was gonna be Monday and I'm filming Friday. So if you watched it, I hope you had as much fun as I did watching. I'm not invested in any team. I just really love watching soccer. I'm more of a women's soccer fan, so I'm just here along for the ride, ready to see who can win a game. Love it when it gets to shootouts. It's really fun. But I will go ahead and start with number 10 of these books that, according to Goodreads, were the best of the year, and go all the way up to my number 1. I have done this a few years in the past, and I do know my friend Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers has already done this with the top 20, which I was not going to force myself to do because all of my subscribers said don't force myself to read books I don't want to. So I was really pleasantly surprised when I saw the top 10 were books that I already read. So I will go ahead and chat through them. Number 10, so I'm actually a decent fan of this author. I've been reading her for like 10 years now, I want to say. And so some of her books are my all-time favorite books. However, this book came out, and I will say, I love Colleen Hoover's books, except for recently. So I was really excited for this to come out. It Ends With Us I read as an ARC. I got it at ALA when I went in like 2016, I want to say, whenever that first book came out, and I absolutely loved it. I was very excited for this one. However, I did a reading vlog and I was severely disappointed. It was so boring. There was just nothing interesting about this romance. I was very bored by it. I wanted a little bit more conflict and plot and just overall so much more from this book. It felt like it was just an extended epilogue about them just like living, but we didn't even get to see them like beyond. We just got to see them like after the end of the page of It Ends With Us. It picks up literally that day instead of seeing them in the future, and I'm someone who does not care about epilogues. I will honestly skip them if I feel like they're not necessary because I like the angst and the drama, and I don't care about when a couple is actually a happily ever after. So while I love Lily and Atlas, this one I felt like was pointless, and she wrote it for the money, which she basically did say she wrote it for the fans because people were begging from TikTok for her to write another book, and so I was bored. Like, it was super sweet, and I was swept up in the whole, oh, we get to have Atlas's perspective, and he's super adorable, and he's amazing, he's like the perfect man, but I was bored throughout this like whole book. Not a lot happened. I'm also very disappointed with how cheaply made it is. Like, nothing special was done with the book at all, and you know they had tons of money to put into this. Like, Barnes & Noble literally has a table just full of this book. You couldn't have done something special on the cover. So severely disappointed in this one. I think I gave it 2.5 stars. Number 10. Coming in at number 9, and look what I'm saying. So this has like raised text and it's shiny. Like, this is pretty. However, I gave this 3 stars. I feel like a lot of Colleen's books tend to lean more towards women's fiction, and I get bored with women's fiction. I need a really, really good romance to entertain me. I'm a romance reader. I acknowledge that. This one was more so about the heroine and her journey at getting her daughter back because she was in jail for a while. Now she's out and she's trying to get custody of her daughter, and she's falling for her, I think they were dating her boyfriend's best friend, and typically I like that angst, but I just really didn't care. I feel like the ending was super rushed too, so I ended up giving this one 3 stars. Like, on this list, I think I only gave 2 of these top 10 books 5 stars. So this one is sitting at a 3, and I gave 5 of the books on this list a 3 star. So I was not that impressed by this one either, and of course these 2 were 2 and 3. And they're my bottom 2. Then one that was surprising to me, and I thought I would love this because this is the last book I had to read on this list, and everybody loves this book, especially on TikTok, and that is Every Summer After by Carly Forge, and I gave this 3 stars. This one, I'm kind of going back and forth of giving it 2.5. I don't know. I feel like 2.5 is a little harsh. This one read like a YA romance novel, and I want to say like 60 or 70% of the book took place when they were teenagers. We got flashbacks when they were falling in love at this lake, and then we got fast forward when they were together as adults when their mother died and the heroine is back in town and rekindling the romance after like something tragic blew them apart when they were like 18. I thought it was cute. However, it read like a YA romance. I was like, I don't care about two teenagers falling in love. And then I got really annoyed with the hero and what he was doing, what drove them apart, and I honestly wanted her to be with a brother. Like, just drop the guy who's all the drama and go be with the one who's giving you attention. That's all I want to say, because I really liked that part of the book. And I just like, I don't know why this was so popular. I don't love reading young adult romance anymore. I haven't read one in a really long time. And I don't really want to read about teenagers falling in love because I want my adult romances, and I feel like the adult romance part of this was not fleshed out at all and was definitely very rushed at the end as well. So 3 stars, and pretty disappointed in that one. So that's coming in at number 8. Is one I know everybody loves, but I was kind of disappointed. Number 7, I know I'm gonna get hate for this. However, I don't love this author. I loved her first book. The other 2 books I've read by her, I've given her 3.5 stars. So this one is the one that won the Goodreads Choice Awards by a landslide. This book, I think, had like 100,000 votes more than the second place book. I know Emily Henry is super popular. Her books are literally everywhere. I think she is the most read romance author at this point besides Colleen Hoover. Maybe she's outselling Colleen Hoover. I don't know. This one I listened to on audio. I just like did not care. I was very bored by this plot. The heroine was just like fine to me. The hero was just fine. Just like with People We Meet on Vacation, there was just nothing special about the book for me. I feel like it was just generic and boring and not something that blew me away to the point where it would be like the best book of the year or one that I'm obsessed with. I feel like everybody loves Emily Henry's books though. People love this book. Beach Read is my favorite, but I feel like that's everyone's least favorite. I just really liked the tension between the 2 characters and how they would write together and like look at each other through their windows and go on writing dates. Like, I loved Beach Read. This one, the plot's really forgettable. I didn't really care what they were doing. Like, they're going to this small town, they run into each other, but they hate each other, but do they? I don't know, and I don't care. So this one, I just gave 3 stars. I don't think it deserved to be number 1, especially based on all the books that we had in the top, but at number 6 is also another beloved author. I don't think this did that well on the list though, and that's Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. This one I gave 3.5 stars, so we're already 5 books in and I'm only at 3.5 stars. This one I thought was boring as well. I mean, it was fine. It was like a friends to lovers romance. I read this a while ago though, like 5 or 6 months ago. So I just read my review. I remember really liking the fake dating aspect, and I thought the hero's background was interesting where he was just used to people seeing him as a playboy and nothing more. I feel like I did like this a lot more than book 1, It Happened One Summer, which I know is a very unpopular opinion, but I just could not stand Piper in What Happened One Summer. So I gave that book like 2.5, 3 stars. But this one I gave it 3.5, more on the high side of 3.5 to 4, because I did like the friends to lovers aspect. I liked how she was crushing on someone else and they were fake dating, but it was still like a generic romance. I feel like a lot of these that are super popular on this list are just like your run-of-the-mill generic plots, and I want something more for my romances, so that's why I don't love them as much. Okay, we're getting into the 4-star books. So at number 5, I'm going to put Terms and Conditions. I actually liked book 1 better than this one, which I feel like a lot of people like this one better than book 1. This one's Marriage of Convenience. He is a very grumpy millionaire. He has to get married in order to get his inheritance of part of this like park that's kind of like Disney, and ends up getting married to his assistant, and it was fun. I liked it. I had a good time. I did like the heroine in this one. She was definitely my favorite part. I am a sucker for a grumpy hero, and I really did appreciate the representation with the heroine's dyslexia and the sweet things the hero did. I love it when a grump falls really hard, so that's why I ended up enjoying this one. It's not necessarily a 5-star read, but it definitely was an enjoyable Marriage of Convenience that I think deserves to be on this list, so I enjoyed it, and I'm excited for book 3. It's gonna be good. At number 4, I have Love on the Brain by Allie Hazelwood. This was a really fun romance. I do know it's like kind of similar to The Love Hypothesis. I personally love The Love Hypothesis hypothesis more than this one, but I feel like the author really relies on them hating each other, but like miscommunication hating, where the hero really doesn't hate her, but the heroine thinks he hates her, so he's mean to her and she's mean to him, but they don't really hate each other, and that's what this one was. But it was really sweet how they had to work together, and it kind of had a You've Got Mail moment, which was really cute. So I appreciate these characters. I think they're really fun. I think the setting is super unique. Being in science, they were working on this like helmet together that had to do with like brain science. And there was a little bit of a villain going on too, which I thought was really fun, and she kept on like blaming the hero for things, and he thought she was married the whole time because she was in a long-term relationship, but they broke up and he didn't know that. So it was really funny watching that play out as well. I just feel like this one actually had very unique tropes put together in a very unique setting, and that's why I really like this one. Number 3 is also one of the most recent ones I read, and that is Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. I still give this one 4 stars. So this one I feel like was too long. Like, Anna Huang's books are long, and this one was over 500 pages. Sorry, it was 498 pages, but I really liked the hate to love relationship. I thought that they had a lot of fun tropes together, like there was the only one bed trope, they went skiing together, and then there was this whole part where she was being blackmailed and had to betray him, and their relationship was definitely very hateful, but like the lusty hateful that bled into their romance. I really enjoyed that dynamic between them and how they used their physical attraction as power over each other, and it was just really interesting, and that's why it's called Twisted Hate. I really do love the best friend's brother trope as well, because it's just so much fun, and we saw the couples a ton in this book, which I really appreciated, especially the book 1 couples. So just having this series is a lot of fun and reading them in order, and I'm excited to read book 4, but I definitely see why people love this one the most. Josh and Jules have just a fun relationship, and I did kind of get like a little bored near like the middle to the end with that whole plot going on with the painting, but I definitely need to read book 4. Coming in at number 2 is a 5-star read. So between these two, I thought one of these would win, and I don't even think it came close, but number 2 is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. I love this one. It was so much fun. It takes place at a wedding. Give me a good wedding romance. I love those. Delilah doesn't get along with her stepsister, and I really like the family dynamic in here. Like, no one was actually in the wrong. It was a lot of them not communicating with one another and like remembering things differently than one another. So like the stepsister and stepmom were not as like vicious and villainous as Delilah had thought, and they really need to talk it out because her stepsister's the one getting married, and she falls for her stepsister's best friend who's in the wedding, who's a single mom who's still kind of hung up on her ex, and they kind of have a past too. Like, they knew each other in high school as well. So I just loved everything about this book. It was so much fun to read. This delivered on the spice as well, and I had a lot of fun reading this one. So I'm really happy this is in the top. I have book 2 to read, which I'm very excited for. This one definitely belongs in spot number 2 for me. And the last one I have is the one that I was for sure was like, there's no way this can't be near the top. This has been in the top 100 on the Amazon charts literally since it released. Like, I'm pretty sure if you go to the Amazon charts, it's gonna be in the top 100 right now. Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I listened to this one on audio. I feel like I listened to a lot of these on audio actually, and I love this so much. Again, we do have like a little bit of like a villainous moment at the end, like a couple of these books that kind of got a little over dramatic, but it was fun. I had so much fun reading this book. I love the premise where the heroine's a twin. She goes to this small town and people hate her because they think she's her sister, and her sister like abandons her like 14-year-old daughter. So the heroine has to take care of her, and the town grump is trying to protect the town and wants her gone. And there's just so many fun moments in here, and it was just a good time. I loved reading this, and while this one was long, it did not feel too long. I did not care about the page count. I feel like the plot really progressed really well, and we got like that culmination at the end of this plot happening. I don't want to spoil that, but such a good small town romance, Grump Sunshine, and I really love the twin aspect of this one, and I'm surprised it didn't get higher in the finals. So this is my number 1. I wish it won, but it didn't. I don't even think I voted in the final awards. If I did, I voted for this one. I know for the first round I voted for Part of Your World, and it did not win. I think I voted for this one. So those are the rankings I have for the top 10 romances that made the Goodreads Choice Awards. Let me know what your official ranking is. I would love to hear. Let me know what you voted on or wished had won. I would love to hear. And that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.